Hey Mixers, welcome back to another NBA player props video. We have a couple of days to go over because it's been a few days since I made videos. I've been really busy with work, and that's going to keep happening more and more, unfortunately. I will always try to do at least a post with my plays, which is what I've done the past couple of days. So let's go ahead and jump into the review, then we'll get into some plays for today. Okay, so going back to a couple of days ago, I gave you Con Knipple over 5.5 rebounds. He did have 6. A lot of people I know were on his points. We went with just the rebounds, and he did not hit his points line. Rui Hachimura over 1.5 3-pointers made. He did have 2 out of 5. So that was a close one, but he did get there for us. And then Jaime Jaquez Jr. Over 27.5 PRA. He came off the bench, only had 18. So that was a bad call. I did mention Norman Powell as an alt line down below, and he did have a good game. So, we were kind of betting on 2 players in that game, and it should have been the other way around, where we took an alt line on Jaime Jaquez Jr., which still would not have cashed, but we could have taken the normal line on Norman Powell. And then our bonus bet, Karl Anthony Towns, that one barely hit. I was expecting a few more rebounds, but we still cashed it, so got some plus money on Karl Anthony Towns rebounds. And then our alt lines, we got sold down the river by DeMar DeRozan. If you were in on that, or you were paying attention at all that day, insane. I mean, I am not the kind of person to scream that sports are rigged, but that really did feel like it, didn't it? Where he was down Zach LaVine, down Malik Monk, and he only plays 12 minutes in the first half. That just seems fishy, but it's gambling, and we're choosing to bet on it, so it's our own fault if things like that miss. So anyway, he only had 4 points. Amen Thompson had 18 points, so you could have hit his normal line, and then Franz Wagner had 28 points. You could have hit his normal line, and Norman Powell had 7. We took 17.5. He had 27. You could have hit his normal line. So, unfortunately. But hey, we still cashed. So we took the alt lines. We still cashed. All right. The next day, I gave you Isaiah Collier over 11.5 points rebounds in a YouTube post. And then I gave you TJ McConnell over 15.5 PRA. Collier hit for us. TJ McConnell did not. He didn't quite have the usage I was expecting. He did play the minutes. He just didn't have the usage. All right. And then yesterday, I gave you Zach LaVine over 22.5 points for a best bet. He did have 25. I gave you Simone Fontecchio over 8.5 points, and he had 9 as a lean. And then bonus bets, I gave you Pods over 1.5 3-pointers made, and he went 3 for 6. One little tip that I'm going to give you is, if Steph has a good shooting matchup, then Pods has a good shooting matchup. They're the exact same player. I mean, exactly the same. So if Steph has a good shooting matchup from 3, then Brandon Pods going over 1.3 3-pointers made is going to be a slam dunk, especially if you can get it not juiced. So if you could just get it at an even line, which is what we got it at plus. I got it at plus money, but I saw it for an even payout later on in the day. But if you can get it for that and not juiced, then I would always take that. If Steph's going to make 3s, Brandon's going to make 3s. So that brings our leans almost to 70%, which is crazy. And then our bonus bets are at 58%. That's wild. So with bonus bets, you want to be at least 40% because you're getting plus money on them. So you can afford to lose more than half the time. But yeah, 40% is like the absolute lowest you want to be. We're at 60. So we've been doing great on the bonus bets. Okay. Bets for today. I'm going to take Austin Reeves over 4.5 rebounds. He's over in 5 of 10 games, and then he hooked in 4 other games. So he's right around this line. If you want to drop it down to 3.5 as a goblin line, I don't hate that. That's a good idea. But head-to-head against this team, he's had 5, 14, and 8. So he's had success against this team. I don't know if Giannis is going to play. It's a back-to-back, obviously, and he just went... just put up a ton of points. I think they went to overtime yesterday. So I don't know if Giannis will be playing, if he is, or if he's going to play his full minutes. Luka may not be playing. That could affect this bet. Whatever. We can't know everything. So I'm just going to go in on it and hope for the best. All right, the next best bet. This is our thumbnail, and I think this is a really good spot to attack you guys. Aaron Gordon over 16.5 points. So he is over 70% of the time this season anyways. And now Cam Johnson and Christian Braun will not be on the court. In games played without Christian Braun, Aaron Gordon has had 24 and 38. But those were both against teams that are fairly easy to score on, the Kings and the Warriors. So this is going to be the Timberwolves, right? It's going to be a little bit of a tougher matchup, but I think he gets there. He's the only forward for the team, basically. Maybe it just means Nikola Jokic scores more, but I think he's going to kick it out to Aaron Gordon plenty of times, and Aaron Gordon's definitely going to get his attempts up. All right, I have a lean for you, Santi Aldama over 15.5 points and assists. The problem here with the Grizzlies is that I do think John Morant is in an okay spot for scoring here, and Jaren Jackson Jr. has just been so consistent. And then Santi Aldama has been playing very well. Cedric Coward is out, so I think those minutes, that usage is going to go to Santi Aldama mostly. And so he's already over in 61% of games this season. Now with Coward out, I do think he has a pretty good chance of going over here against the Cavaliers. But I also, just if you wanted to take a look at it, John Morant, I like his points. So it's at 20.5. I like his assists too at 7.5. So you could do points and assists. I think it's 28.5. The problem is just the motivation. Like I said, like, is he going to play? Is he going to shoot well? He has not been shooting well. He's been shooting like 30% from the field. If he can just shoot 50% from the field and get fouled 6 to 10 times by the Cavaliers, who do foul a lot, then I think he easily clears this 20.5 line. Anyway, I don't know if I'll end up going in on Ja, but I probably will go in on Santi Aldama in at least one bet. All right, the Mobster over his 7.5 rebounds. Now, he's just been really consistent on his rebounds, but the line is so high, 9.5. And if the Grizzlies, now I think the Grizzlies can keep it close, but if they can't and it does turn into a blowout, then Mobley's not going to get over 9.5 rebounds. That's a high number for him to get over. So I wanted to just take the alt line, 7.5 rebounds. He's over in 11 of 12 games this season, so he's only missed one time, and he's over in 3 of 3 head-to-heads with the Grizzlies. So that is what I want to do. I don't know if he's going to take it a little bit easy. You know, they obviously just played, but someone's got to be on the court for this team. So I assume that Donovan Mitchell, Evan Mobley will be playing. Darius Garland is going to be out. So yeah, I like this alt line over 7.5 rebounds. Okay, I fit it all onto one screen for you guys. I just have the 2 best bets. So if those 2 best bets hit, then I will give away some cash for the next video. So just make sure you're subscribed, like the video, and leave any comment. Just let me know what you guys are thinking. All right, thanks, guys.